Nothing. But let's talk about some gripes. What's up guys, Troy here. So let's go down to the McLaren. I want to talk about a few things in the car, and I kind of have a little bit of a 2-month review on it for you, and I wanted to discuss a few things with it. I know there's a lot of people that are curious about it and are curious about some of the flaws with the car, which are very, very minor to me, but I also want to talk about how great the car is. I know I talked about it in one of my videos about the pricing and the value of these cars, but I want to talk a little more about it in depth. So let's go down to the McLaren and get in the car and get out for a drive before maybe the rain comes in. It's a pretty nice day here today, and it's probably going to be one of the last few ones where it's decently warm. We're pretty much winter now in PA here. The weather's cold. It's been a few weeks since I've driven the car, so I want to make sure I get into the car and drive it and get a video out for you guys, because I know you've been wanting to see more of the car. So let's go down there, get in the car, and we'll go on from there. We're gonna have to let this thing warm up for a bit. It's been a while. So it's been a little over 2 months that I've had this 2012 McLaren MP4-12C, and I have to first say that this car has been phenomenal. I mean, it is a worlds apart difference between my Gallardo and this car, and I kind of knew that going into it. But there are a few things that I kind of wanted to just bring up that, you know, if you're a picky person and you like functional and you like this is more or less towards the OCD type people who are watching, but there's a few gripes that I have with this car that do not make it a shitty car by far. I want to get that clarified right now. This car, I think, for the money, is the best car in its class that you're ever going to get, period. That being said, there's a couple things that I want to talk about that pretty much, I don't want to use a Family Guy reference and say grind my gears, but it drives me up the wall. And maybe other people, this wouldn't really be, they wouldn't really care about this, but for me and how I am, and I think you guys get a pretty good idea how I am, this drives me up the wall. The first thing is the iris system. The iris system, this is one of the McLaren's biggest faults, and it is known. Now, McLaren have done light years and light years of fixing, and there's a huge difference now in the newer cars than there was in the earlier cars. But the 2012s had what we call the Iris 1 system, and that's basically the main control unit, the radio, the AC kind of ties into it, but it's more or less the radio, the nav, the phone, all that stuff. It basically doesn't function. It doesn't function well to the point where it's reliable. So what happens is you'll get the car and you'll start it and you'll see maybe the screen will boot up in kind of like white lines, or the backlight of the screen will sometimes boot funny. I've experienced this problem twice, has fixed itself, has self-resolved. The device, it's basically an Android run tablet, it reboots and everything's fine. But it's not really usable. The maps on Iris 1 is just absolutely terrible. So you can't, I don't use it. I use my phone if I have to navigate, and it's not even worth trying to navigate through it. So I kind of, that's one of my gripes with it. I didn't buy this car to have navigation and all that stuff. I bought this car because of what it is, and it doesn't bother me to the extent where I want to pay the $3,500 or $4,000 or whatever it is. I think it might be even $3,000 to upgrade to the Iris 2. Now, the upgrade to the Iris 2, they fixed a lot of the map things. Basically, what you can do is then tether your phone to the tablet, and you have better map coverage, and you'll have XM function. I have the auxiliary cable for the iPod, so I just use that for music. I don't really have any other problems. There's been some stories of people having major problems. Well, they'll be driving down the road, and Iris 1 will reboot. Don't worry about that with the car. Buy this car for what it is, not for a freaking radio control setting. You're not going to really care about it, to be honest with you. You're going to get in this car, and it's going to be the last thing on your mind, honestly. Second thing is I kind of want to talk about the exhaust snoot. There's a lot of people, including myself, that before I had this car, I griped about the exhaust. I didn't think they sounded good. I didn't think they were worthy of a supercar name just for the sound. But that being said, I'm going to negate what I had previously thought, and now that I've had one, this car sounds good. It sounds really good. The blow-off valves, the turbo noise, I didn't think it would sound this good, and it does. The ISG, the intake sound generator, you can control to how much sound you want to pipe into the cabin through different active aero settings in the active panel. So if you're in a sports setting, it'll pipe more engine noise in. If you're in track setting, it'll pipe even more engine noise in. So while I do think the engine noise could be better at more of a supercar sound, it's not a naturally aspirated car. It's not a high revving V10. It's a pretty high revving V8, 8,500 RPM. It sounds good. Give it a chance. If you haven't heard one in person, you know, try to find one or try to find a 650. Hear them in person. I do miss the sound of my Gallardo. I really, you know, I think that's part of my problem, is that's why I have this minor gripe with this car, is because I had a pretty much straight piped V10 2006 Gallardo that shot massive flames and sounded like a ridiculous F1 car. So I'm kind of a little biased. It sucks because I came from that to this. So obviously this is a little more tame. But that being said, again, do not let that deter you from buying this car. You're not buying this car 100% for the sound. Do I want it to sound good? Absolutely. Does the car check that list? Absolutely. It fills the sound box for you, and it still sounds every bit race car and exotic enough that who cares? The third gripe that I have, and this is because I'm a detailing, whatever you want to call me, detailing guy, is the doors. You've seen in some of my previous videos that the 12Cs, when you open the doors, the bottom of the door is the underside of the car. So when you open the door up, you're basically showing right in everybody's face, straight line of sight, the door, the bottom of the bottom of the door, the bottom of the car. It's dirty, it's filthy. You can have that thing spotless and clean, and as soon as you stop driving it 2 miles, you open the door, you turn around, the thing is filthy, and it's kind of embarrassing. The doors going up draws a crowd to begin with, and you have this nice clean car everywhere else, and you open the doors and you see this big ugly line of just tar and dirt and just crap all over the bottom, and it doesn't show up on the darker colored cars, obviously, but having white, it shows everything, and it sucks because, again, it's kind of embarrassing. You're just like, oh yeah, look, I'm proud of my clean car, and it looks great, and then you drive it 2 feet, and you open the door, and it's just kind of like, what the hell happened under here? It's like, did you forget about this part? You know, no, but it's just how the design of the car is, and there's not much I can do about it. What I'm going to probably do is just wrap the bottom of that in gloss black. You know, it's not going to solve the problem, but it's going to help hide that, and it's going to still look good. You know, have that monochromatic look of black and white already on the car with the painted black roof and everything, so it'll help kind of, I think, tie in the car. You know, I don't see it as a big deal. Most people probably don't give a shit. You know, I care. A lot of the obsessed garage guys, they'll probably care, but they understand the point. So, again, those 3 points, those are some big ones. I don't really have any other gripes with the car. This car gets a lot of bad press, and that was because I think this car was tested with a pre-release car, pre-production car, and McLaren fixed all those problems that got the bad rep in the pre-production cars. And these cars are phenomenal cars. Like, I had no problems. I love this thing to death. The only thing I could see myself doing is maybe hopping into a 650 for the upgraded front end, but I'm digging the understated look. You have to see one of these in person to appreciate it. They don't, unfortunately, photograph well, which not much I can do about that, but they are very understated, and nobody knows what they are. I mean, anybody in a city that doesn't have these cars around here, everybody thinks it's a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, and it's cool. It's a cool car. So those 3 main gripes that I have with the car are, again, they're minor. That doesn't make me hate this car. I just wanted to kind of let you guys know some of the I don't say negative aspects, but some of the things that I don't like, or some of the things that I hate maybe. And I don't want you guys to think that I'm negatively bashing on this car. I'm not. With any car, you're going to have things that you have to you're just not going to like. No one car can be 110% perfect for you unless you design and build the car. So if you keep that in mind and you look at what these cars are, just ignore the bad press. You know, find a car that's been checked out, that has all its campaigns, that has, you know, a higher VIN most likely, and just buy it with a warranty. You'll be fine. The car, again, you're not going to get what this car is for the kind of money. You're not going to find another car. People say, oh, you can get a 911 Turbo S. They're not the same classification of cars. So don't be afraid to buy one of these cars. Don't let the negative effects, you know, kind of pull you in and say, oh, the 12Cs are terrible. And a lot of people have heard that the 12Cs are terrible, and then they just turned off on the brand entirely. I haven't been in all the exotic car brands, but Lamborghini, phenomenal brand. I'm coming from a 6-year gap, though, in cars. This car, for what it is, just... I reiterate that. I can't say enough good things about it, and I think the press kind of screwed this car, and I think a lot of people just read what the press have to say, and that's it. They don't go experience the car. They don't go drive the cars. They don't go talk to other people with the cars. And I encourage you to go to your local McLaren dealer, find a used 12C, and see if they'll let you, you know, get in one and get around the car and talk to the people around the car. Go to a Cars and Coffee. Go find the owners of these cars, including myself, and talk to them about it. Talk to any McLaren owner. They'll tell you. I haven't really met a McLaren owner that's hated their car at all. And that's saying a lot. I mean, that's really saying a lot. So, especially for a brand that's, I would say their road cars, their production road cars, 4 years old. So, go find people, go talk to them, go to a dealership and talk to dealers. If you're anywhere near the Philadelphia area, I strongly encourage you to go to McLaren Philadelphia. Ask for Chad, ask for Kevin, tell them Troy sent you, and they will take care of you. They'll let you check out any car, they'll let you look at a 12C, they'll answer any questions that you may have about the 12C. I want you guys to be comfortable, and I want the people, the car community, to be comfortable with these cars. They're phenomenal, and I don't really have much more to say about it. So I hope this was a little more insight, a little different video for you guys. Again, I know it was an in-car vlog, but I wanted to get the car out and do a quick drive here before the weather went to shit, and I wanted you guys to, you know, remember that I have this car. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Follow me on Instagram at Troy Sowers. If you have any questions, that's the quickest way to get a hold of me, especially with any 12Cs or whatnot. Again, Instagram's just quicker for me. It's easier. So if you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram. You can comment below, but click the red subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.